Hello, good evening, and welcome to TC Network. I am Tingney Tim Hoki, bringing you today's news. Today's top headlines include government offices closed down in demand of re-affiliation of 25 schools from Sisipur and Kangpopi to CBSE. India logs 305 new COVID-19 cases. News in details. Continuing their widespread protests against the disaffiliation of 25 schools from CBSE and the unfair suspension of 3 ZEO officials and recent torching of schools in More by commandos, the joint students' body, Lamka, consisting of KSO Churachandpur, HSA, MZP, ZSP, and various other student bodies took action today by locking the government offices in Churachandpur and Firjol districts on Friday. This symbolic act served as a protest against the authorities' lack of response to their demand for reinstating the suspended officials and reaffiliating the schools under CBSE. The leader of JSB Lamka and KSO Churachandpur have decided to keep the district administration office of Churachandpur and Firjol district, along with other government offices, locked indefinitely until a permanent resolution is reached. It can be recalled that schools in Kuki-dominated districts of the state took up steps to affiliate to Central Board of Secondary Education due to ethnic cleansing initiated by MayDay upon the Kuki community. Taking into account the importance of education, school administrators of the Kuki initiated step with the help of ZEO official to affiliate school with CBSE as the Manipur State Board of Education has totally disowned Kuki students. There is no way a Kuki going to Imphal to collect educational certificates, nor can they be under the State Board of Education. Some of the government offices locked by the student bodies are SDO Sisipur, IB Veng, Mini Secretariat, Main Gate, but later on was reopened by the Central Armed Police Forces who are on duty at the spot, ADC Office, Hingleb SDO Office, Tuibong SDO Office, DC Office Building Main Gate, including others. Various slogans like "We will resist," "Joint Operation," "Combined Operation of State and Central Forces," "No CBSE, no rest," "MHA do not give MayDay's air assets," "Oust MayDay militants disguised as state forces in More," "We condemn the unjust de-affiliation of 25 schools in Lamka and Kangpopi district," "Reverse the unjust de-affiliation of CBSE schools," and "We condemn unjust suspension of 3 ZEO officials. We are stick on the wall of the offices." Talking to media, Joint Secretary of the Joint Student Body, Lamka, Samuel Taithol said, "Till today, there has not been any development in reversal of this affiliation of schools in Churachandpur and Kangpopi districts with the CBSE. As per the CBSE affiliation bylaws of 2018, the district educational officer is a competent authority. However, despite that, the disaffiliation took place because of the influence by the state government. A mass rally consisting of students and parents was taken out yesterday, demanding re-affiliation of school to CBSE, and the mass student rally was also to show condemnation of the state forces' illegal and criminal activities by setting ablaze a number of civilian houses and 3 educational institutions, including a church in More in Tengnopol district, he added.
Till today, there has been no positive response to our demand for reversal of the de-affiliation of 25 CBSE schools in Kangpopi and Lamka district. Yesterday, we carried out a student rally to demonstrate our grievance and resentment against the lack of action. And so today, this is a follow-up to the rally that we held yesterday. We have found it necessary to lock down government offices in order to vent and demonstrate our frustration and anger at the lack of response from the government. The de-affiliation of schools took place due to the political pressure and interference by the state government. Our demand remains the same. We want the central government to be able to resist the pressure and influence exerted by the state government. All schools that were once affiliated, the 25 schools, must be re-affiliated until such time these government offices shall remain closed indefinitely.
India saw a single-day rise of 305 new cases of COVID-19, while the number of active cases of the infection has declined to 2,439, the Health Ministry said on Thursday. 3 deaths, one each from Maharashtra, Karnataka and Gujarat, have been reported in a span of last 24 hours, according to the ministry's data updated at 8 a.m. The number of daily cases has dropped to double digits till December 5, but cases began to increase after emergence of a new variant and cold weather conditions. After December 5th, a maximum of a single-day rise of 841 new cases were reported on December 31st, which is 0.2% of the peak cases reported in May 2021, official sources said. Of the total active cases, around 92% are recovering under home isolation. The currently available data suggests that the JN1 subvariant is neither leading to an exponential rise in the new cases nor a surge in the hospitalization and mortality, the official sources stated. India has witnessed 3 waves of COVID-19 in the past week, with the peak incidence of daily new cases and deaths being reported during the Delta wave during April to June 2021. At its peak, 414,188 new cases and 3,915 deaths were reported on May 7, 2021. Since the pandemic began in early 2020, there have been more than 4.5 crore people getting infected and over 5.3 lakh deaths in about 4 years since then across the country. The number of people who have recuperated from the disease stands at over 4.4 crore with a national recovery rate of 98.81%, according to the ministry's website. According to the website, 220.67 crore doses of COVID vaccines have so far been administered in the country. Thousands of students across the Kuki dominated Kangpokpi district held a massive rally today, drawing the attention of the Prime Minister over the CBSE affiliation role. The massive rally kicked off at Nute Kailhang in downtown Kangpokpi and proceeded toward Deputy Commissioner Kangpokpi's office via the National Highway 2. Traffic flow was disrupted during the rally while Kangpokpi police were on high alert, monitoring the movement of the rally to avoid any unwanted incidents. The student protesters who shouted the slogans, "Revoke the 3 education official suspension orders," "Free education from politics," and "We want justice extra," also held placards that read, "Re-officiate the 25 tribal schools." Neglecting education is a crime against the future. Empower minds, promote fair and accessible education, not political agendas. We need equal access to education. We cannot tolerate a political motivated and unjust de-affiliation of our sacred portal of learning. Keep your dirty hands off our right to education. No room for political games. Manipur government against the right to education, etc. The massive student rally led by the Kuki students organization Sadar Hills submitted a 4-page representation to the Prime Minister through DC Kangpokpi, calling immediate attention to the elite's deplorable state of education in the Kuki districts of Manipur. The Kuki students' representation to the Prime Minister highlighted the elite's politically motivated de-affiliation of 25 schools in the tribal areas with the CBSE, the elite's unjust suspension of 3 ZEO officials, and the past instances of elite's discriminatory practices of Manipur University towards the Kuki students while demanding re-affiliating the 25 schools. Revoke the suspension order of the 3 ZEO officials and establish a central university in Lamka, Churachandpur district. On the sideline of the rally, KSO Sadar Hills General Secretary Thang Tin Lin Hau Kip said that the massive protest rally is in continuation of demand for a fair share of justice in the education sector in the state of Manipur. He recalled that the Kuki Students Organization had publicly appealed for the revocation of the suspension order of the three of our Kuki Zoo officials who were wrongfully charged by the MayDay majoritarian administration and had severed an ultimatum of 48 hours, which has already lapsed. This willful and wanton exercise of power, especially in the fields of education, will have a resounding impact on the future careers of our generation, he asserted. He further said that Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh and his cohorts are appealed yet again to retract from their ill-conceived and ill-advised political discourse which has shamed the people of Manipur. Meanwhile, the Sadar Hills Private School Association, or the SHILLIPS, while staunchly refuting the suspension of the three dedicated officials, urged Manipur's Education Department to consider its decision and ensure immediate revocation of the suspended three officials for the good of all. The Zonal Education Officer of Churachandpur, Zangho Haukip, the Zonal Education Officer of Kangpokpi, Thin Ning Sing Sit, and the Deputy Inspector of Schools, Samulamlan Block El Taitul, was suspended with effect on January 12, purportedly based on the issuance of no objection certificates or the NOC to 25 schools in the Strive Zone, Churachandpur and Kangpokpi districts for their affiliation to the Central Board of Secondary Education (CBSE), the only national level school education board. Vehemently condemning the suspension of the three officials, SHILLIPS demanded a few actions from the state government and the education department sooner than later. Firstly, the top educational body of Sadar Hills challenged the state's education department to provide or produce the specific standing or pertinent legislation that prohibits zonal education officers from issuing NOCs and urged the department to make the legislation accessible to the public. Secondly, it demanded the publication of the issued NOCs or the immediate release of all NOCs issued to private schools in the Valley districts, accompanied by an official statement affirming that no NOCs have been issued by ZEOs of the Valley district, as transparency is crucial to establish the veracity of the accusations against the suspended officials. Thirdly, SHILLIPS called for the issuance of public notification on NOC fees or outlining the fees to be paid and the expected number of days to be waited to obtain an NOC, stating that clear guidelines will help dispel any ambiguity and ensure fair practices in the NOC issuance process. Fourthly, the association insisted on the presentation of the state government gazetted notification containing the prescribed procedure and legislation for obtaining NOC for affiliation to CBSE, as it will provide a comprehensive understanding of the established norms and rules governing the affiliation process. Fifthly, SHILLIPS demanded justification from the Manipur government and the MayDay communities as to why the Kuki Zoo community should not de-associate themselves from them and be separate from the Manipur MayDay government that executed ethnic cleansing and complete practical separation. It also stated that the targeted community, the Kuki Zoo in Churachandpur, Kangpokpi, Chandil, and Tengnopal districts, can and will never have any more trust in the institutions and machineries of the state government of Manipur under the MayDay majoritarianism. This has been bluntly and comprehensively shown by the ethnic cleansing program executed by the MayDay radicals under state patronage that has been taking place since May 3, 2023 till that, it stated. SHILLIPS also emphasized that the suspended officials were merely fulfilling their duty and responsibilities as the rightful authorities at the district level. It maintained that the withdrawal of affiliation by CBSE illegally under political pressure should have been a sufficient punishment for the officials. Withdrawing all the affiliation and then suspending the officials tantamount to double punishment and injustice meted to the communities living in the affected districts, it added. SHILLIPS further stated that the state government should rather appreciate the initiative of the union government for quality education as per NEP 2020 and NCF 2023 to be spearheaded by CBSE, which is the highest school-level education body, while urging the State Education Department to reconsider its decision and ensure immediate revocation of the suspension. It stated that SHILLIPS stands united in its commitment to upholding the integrity of the education system and advocates for a just resolution to this issue and immediate revocation of the suspended officials and affiliation for the good of all.
This protest really is in continuation of the demands for fair share of justice in education sector in the state of Manipur. We, the Kuki student organization, had publicly appealed for the revocations of suspension order of the 3 Kuki JDO staff who were wrongfully charged by the MayDay majoritarian administrations and had served ultimatum of 48 hours, which has already lapsed, which willful and wanton of exercise of power, especially in the fields of education, will have a resounding impact on the future careers of our generations. Furthermore, Mr. N. Biren Singh and his cohorts are appealed yet again to retract from his ill-conceived and ill-advised political discourse which have shame of the people of Manipur.
The Kuki Intellectual Council WKZIC General Headquarters Songpi Lamka vehemently condemned the deployment of state police commandos, Indian Reserve Battalion, along with the United National Liberation Front Panbay Group, National Revolutionary Front of Manipur, and Arambay Bengal terrorists, much against the will of the local people. Besides, the composition of the evil alliance is around 200 plus, and out of which only 50 genuine state armed forces are there and the rest are MayDay militants. In its press release, the Kuki Intellectual Council states that the civil society organizations such as Kuki Inp, Tecnopal, Hill Tribal Council, Kuki Students Organization, Tecnopal District, Kuki Chief Association, Tecnopal, Kuki Women's Human Rights Organization, Tecnopal, had repeatedly appealed for removal of state forces, having understood the communal, vengeful, and cynical roles of the infamous military elites, instead of keeping law and orders in More Boulder town. The deployment of the said evil alliance of the state forces and MayDay terrorists militant in the town by N. Biren Singh, MayDay CM, is not necessary, and there are adequate central forces already in the place for protection of lives and properties of the locality. Of course, the local police personnel belonging to the Kuki Civil Police must be there to carry out normal duties of services. The presence of excessive evil state forces is the root cause of perpetual anxiety, fear, and insecurity to the people and their properties and in the town. The state force and its elite force Arambay Bengal and VBIGs in More Boulder town is nothing more than an organized crime syndicate of Manipur government. Their nefarious activities are anti-people since the beginning of their deployment there. They rather act like criminals, and they are not considered as law keepers, but the violators of all forms of law. They are responsible for looting, torturing, killing innocent civilians, burning of houses and educational institutions. They symbolize criminals in police uniform to the local people and the world. Yesterday itself, educational institutions were targeted by the evil elites. They burned down 3 schools, namely Bethsaida High School, Dr. Colvin Academy, and Mount More Public School, along with Jogam Hotel and other 20 individual houses. One military vehicle, Casper Bulletproof, has intentionally rammed into unassembled women and children, causing excruciating injuries to many persons, and Mistress Vanalam, 55 years, was grievously injured. The Casper BP were used to ferry the MayDay militants and state forces who committed arson. In fact, if the central government is really serious to bring back normalcy in the town, then its only viable means is to remove all state forces along with the other terrorist militants engaged by the Chief Minister, Manipur, from Moreh border town. Therefore, the Union Home Minister's attention is hereby drawn that he will immediately sanction orders for complete withdrawal of state forces from Moreh border town and take full charge of security in the Kuki Zone inhabited areas, so that normalcy will be limping back instantly, added the press release. Ginza Volzong, convener media cell ITLF, meets the press at his office today, in which he conveys the information passed on by the ITLF Defense Department. The information states that we are happy that many organizations and individuals have recently visited the frontline volunteers at their camps and bought them whatever they think might be necessary for the volunteers. But this, on the other hand, sometimes happens to be a nuisance for some of the volunteers, as they don't really need the brought items, and there is no place to store them in their small and congested camps. While on the other hand, those brought items might be lacking in various other camps. Hence, in order to ensure equal distribution of donated items to the volunteers at all the various camps, the good donors are kindly requested to hand over the items they want to donate to the ITLF Defense Department or to submit it at the ITLF office. Let the good deeds we do not go to waste, and for that we ask your kind cooperation.
Hadve kimupin bang volunteer ten bang paimo dia chi bang kidong thein ke kan theilen kha volunteer te de paimo sem kha theidi jakin na wakipan na frontline la wadiang lut pa lowin ITLF defense kyanga ekil ITLF department khabe pe kyanga volunteer te paimo di kanmasan wai dungzoi na kisai na peleng patwa mama di ahi chi kami pite thisang na hon bola ajek chup apoi mo lo piu blanket wa pia mo ka mau kha blanket nation le apoi mo khetap khong moza khong eki le thildang kho na hi thei apoi mo taku ipiak theina ding in na haisan mo na ITLF officer kitot thegi ge dinga mi pite na to ki panena pilbang to semena in na pamkhom ni chi khangen na kon bole.
It has been reported that yesterday at around 11 p.m., the MayDay armed miscreants believed to be a combined force of Arambay Tinggol recently surrendered UNLF cadres and state force allegedly carried out an attack at Khao Sabung, Bunglon, Lower Khoirengtak, Upper Khoirengtak villages, which are inhabited by the Kuki Zone. Having been attacked by the MayDay armed miscreants, the Kuki Zone village volunteers were compelled to retaliate, but no casualty on either side is reported. As per the report, the firing lasted for more than 2 hours, it said. MayDay armed miscreants carried out the attack using 82-inch mortar bombs, which are believed to have been imported from China. Several bombs were shot in the direction of the Kuki Zone villages, destroying some standing structures. Some hit a pineapple farm situated just above the Khao Sabung, added the report. The Zone United, in view of the present conflict in the state, issued a letter bearing the subject: Request for contribution towards saving our land, people and life in the hardest hit zone, Moreh. In its letter, the Zone United states that it has been in our knowledge and valid information we received from the ground that Moreh has been badly affected from the new year 2024. We all know the importance and necessity to save our people, land and life in the hardest hit zone, Moreh. The Zone United Executive Body meeting held yesterday, 18 January 2024, have unanimously resolved that the following immediate life and land-saving support be provided to Moreh. The Zone United constituents member tribes to contribute Rs 1 lakh only, the same amount to be remitted to Zone United bank account or treasurer within the 5 days. You are also requested to entrust your respective philanthropic organization to collect food aid, materials from the public, and the same may be submitted within 10 days at Lamka Branch YMA Hall, Muyaveng. The letter further reads, "The prayers and our unity has been our strength, security, and safety. We request you to kindly adhere to this letter and extend life insurance, and again within the stipulated date mentioned. For your kind information, CYMA have contributed towards life-saving supports in the first week of January 2024. And the first unity support was also sent both cash and materials from constituent members' contribution." In view of the ongoing tension in the state of Manipur, aids and donation for Kuki village volunteers who in the front line are keeping guard day and night continues to pour in from all walks of life. As such, J. Hebron PCI today donated a sum of 6,400 rupees for the village volunteers and handed over to ITLF. Lunglei District Village Council Association also contributed a sum of 50,000 rupees and handed it to the ITLF. Goodwill donations are always welcome, stated ITLF, and expressed its happiness over the donation received. That is all for today's news, and have a pleasant evening ahead.